A great monk lay on his deathbed. His body was frail, his mind peaceful. The time had come for him to leave this world. His successor, a young monk who had long looked up to him, sat by his side, waiting for his final words. The air was thick with anticipation. The old monk, in a weak but steady voice, whispered, "Remember one thing, my dear successor. Never allow a cat into your life." The young monk was taken aback. It was an unusual request. The crowd around them, too, was surprised. Why would the monk, known for his deep wisdom, say such an odd things? Before anyone could inquire further, the greater monk passed away. The successor, although troubled by the strange words, had no time to reflect. The rituals were to be followed. The monk was cremated with all due respect, and life in the monastery carried on. But the young monk couldn't stop thinking about those last words. He found himself lost in contemplation. Why? Why a cat? What did it mean? One day, an elderly monk who had served alongside the great monk for many years noticed the younger monk's troubled mind. Seeing his confusion, the older monk approached. "My dear friend, I see that something is bothering you. You are troubled by your master's last words, aren't you?" The young monk nodded, eagerly seeking answers. The older monk smiled gently and said, "There is a long story behind those words. Would you like to hear it?" The elder monk began, his voice soft but steady. "You see, when our great master was young, he lived a very different life. He was once a family man with a wife and children. But he decided to renounce the world. He left behind everything: his family, his wealth, his home, and went into the forest to seek the truth of life, away from distraction. In the forest, near a small village, he built a small cottage. He had only 2 clothes, and his life was simple, yet peaceful. But soon something unexpected happened. Rats, a plague of them. They invaded his little cottage, chewing through his clothes, his only belongings. The monk, troubled by the loss of his clothes, went to the villagers to seek help. The villagers, sympathetic to his situation, had a suggestion. "Why not keep a cat?" they said. "The cat will chase away the rats." It seemed like a simple solution. The monk accepted their offer, and soon a small cat entered his life. At first, the cat was a blessing. It kept the rats away, and life seemed easier. But then another problem arose. The monk had to feed the cat. Now the monk found himself going to the village more often, begging for milk to feed his new companion. He realized this wasn't ideal, but what could he do? The cat needed food. The villagers again offered a solution. Why don't you keep a cow? That way you can have milk whenever you need it. It was a practical solution. So the monk accepted the villagers' offer. A beautiful cow was brought to him. With the cow came more responsibilities. The monk needed to care for it. He needed to go to the village every day to beg for grass to feed it. And soon whispers began to spread throughout the village. A monk, revered for his renunciation, was now asking for basic things. People began to question his lifestyle. But the villagers had another idea. There is a widow in the village, they said. She is alone and she has no one to care for her. If she helps you with the cow, she will also be able to grow some crops near your cottage. This way she can be useful and you won't have to keep coming to us for grass. The monk saw nothing wrong with this offer, and so the widow was brought in to help. She tended to the cow, grew crops, and took care of the monk's humble home. As time passed, the monk and the widow grew close. They worked together, side by side, and eventually they fell in love. The monk, who had once renounced the world, found himself living a life just as worldly as before. He had a woman, a child, and all the comforts of a household. And it was only when the child came into their lives that the monk realized he had never truly left the world. He had slowly let it back in, piece by piece, all because of a small decision to keep a cat. The elderly monk paused for a moment, looking into the young monk's eyes. Remember, my friend, the elder monk said, the cat is a metaphor. Once you let your mind gain a little control, it begins to take more and more. Slowly, without you realizing, it pulls you back into the very life you tried to escape. So, my dear friend, don't let your mind take over. Don't give it that small leverage. Whether it's a bad habit, an addiction, or a temptation, small things can grow into big problems. Never let a cat into your life. The young monk, now free from his confusion, understood his master's final lesson. The wisdom passed down through generation was clear. We must never give our mind a foothold in things that can slowly pull us away from our true path. The cat, in all its simplicity, was a reminder that sometimes the smallest choices can lead us down a path we never intended. And it's up to us to make sure we stay true to our purpose without being distracted by the seemingly harmless distractions that life throws our way. Thank you for joining us in this journey of wisdom and reflection. May we all learn to live mindfully, understanding the power of our choices and the consequences they carry. Thank you for watching the video. Please subscribe to the channel for more story times. Thank you.